आपके लिए ब्रेकफास्ट ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है या डिनर? ये सवाल में हम हमेशा लंच के बारे में भूल जाते हैं। हाउ इम्पॉर्टेंट इज़ लंच एंड वॉट आर यू सपोज टू ईट एंड नॉट ईट फॉर लंच? We Indians many times end up eating heavy lunch, which makes us very drowsy and very tired, and it doesn't even give us the right energy for the rest of the day. So how your lunch should look like, what are the right combinations of your lunch, and what is a complete no-no when it comes to having lunch is something that we are going to discuss in today's video. So the first big no-no for lunch is a salad, and if you have to eat salad, I'll tell you a healthier swap. Make sure whatever salad you are eating, it is super rich in protein. So add chicken, add eggs, add paneer, add tofu, and you need to also include good cooked vegetable. Something like this will fill you up for a longer period of time. And don't forget to add olive oil or coconut oil or ghee to this, because these good fats will give you sustainable energy. So if you're doing any fancy salad, especially a raw salad, it is literally going to make you hungry in 2 to 3 hours, and it is going to drop your energy levels. So swap it with healthy proteins, good fats, and good vegetables. That is going to give more benefits to your body. So next food to avoid for lunch that I'm going to talk about, and I see this most commonly available at offices and most of the workplaces, and it really makes me sad, and that is sandwiches. A lot of people think that sandwiches are easily accessible source of food, especially for lunch, and you can just eat it up quickly and go to work. But you know what it is going to do? It is going to spike your blood sugar level and then give you a crash. So it is not going to give you a sustainable energy. It does not provide you with many nutrients that your body needs, especially at that time of the day, and it is also going to mess up your gut health. So instead of sandwiches, what can you reach out for? You can always reach out for whole grain and multigrain breads, and it is something that you can make it at home. So you can add good fresh vegetables and protein like paneer and mushroom to your sandwiches, make it at home, and then carry it to work, because most of the sandwiches that you get outside, it has high fatty spreads, it has mayonnaise, and it has processed meats, which is going to increase your bad cholesterol, and that is also going to increase your risk for heart attacks and cardiovascular diseases. So best option is have whole grain or multigrain bread, or you can just make whole wheat chapati at home, add nice sabzi or paneer sabzi or vegetables at home, make it into a nice roll and carry it to work. That is a lot healthier than any of these options. Another healthy alternative for sandwiches is millet roti wraps. So you can make roti with millets like ragi, jowar, bajra, and add any sabzi of your choice and convert it into a nice wrap. It is easy to carry at work, and it is easy to eat also. It's not messy, and it will keep you fuller for a very long period of time, and it's very easy to make. So these wraps or just roti sabzi is a easy on the go option for your meals instead of going for highly processed sandwiches. Third option that you should not be having for lunch, it is fried rice with excessive oil and soy sauce. Most of the fried rice that we get outside, it has lots and lots of soy sauce, chili oil, and unhealthy oil, because they keep using the same oil again and again, and they fry the food also in the same oil. So these oils have lot of unsaturated unhealthy fats, which are also called as trans fats, which cause lot of inflammation and oxidation in your body. Along with this, the soy, that is a major part of these fried rice, it is extremely rich in unhealthy fats and sodium. And you know what sodium does? It gives you heart attacks. It's going to increase your blood pressure, it is going to destroy your cardiovascular health, and all of this together is going to increase your bad cholesterol. So you're just stuck in a very bad vicious cycle. What is an alternative to this? You can just make fried rice with eggs and vegetable at home with minimal amount of oil, and instead of oil you can use 1 teaspoon of ghee, you can use olive oil, and make sure when you're making it at home you're using very little rice but using lots and lots of vegetables, eggs, mushrooms, paneer or tofu, so it becomes vegetable rich. That will take care of your blood sugar, and your blood sugar spikes, and it will give you a good fiber intake also, and overall it will be a nourishing meal. So this is a yummy and tasty alternative to all the processed fried rice that you get in a restaurant. Fourth option that you should not be eating for lunch is these ready to eat thalis, which we see very commonly available near a lot of workspaces. And this gives many people the illusion that you're eating healthy and you're eating ghar ka khana. But it never works like that. No matter where your thali is coming from, they are making food for larger audience and larger customers. And that actually makes them use bad quality oil, bad quality wheat, and also add a lot of soda in the food, which increases the shelf life of the food. At the same time, when you eat little bit of this food, you get this feeling of being fuller, but it's going to just bloat you a lot and it's going to mess up your digestive system. So why do you want to consume these thalis from outside when you can make similar meals at lesser cost with good quality and something that comes from your home, because that always has a better impact on health and your overall body. The fifth food to avoid for lunch is heavy cream based curries like butter chicken or paneer butter masala or paneer makhni, because it has lots and lots of processed butter and milk cream, and we always think that we are getting lots of protein from it because it has chicken and paneer in it, but how much chicken or how much paneer you are eating out of these curry based foods? So what happens is when you eat these highly rich curries which has butter and cream in it, it gives you a lot of bad fat, which is trans fat also, which increases your cholesterol, and these bad fats also make you fuller sooner, so you end up eating very less quantity of the protein itself. So it is always advised to make these curries, of course, at home, but along with that it's more important to make them with ghee. You can use low fat yogurt in it, you can also use coconut cream in it, that is also very healthy, and along with this, to make it even more tasty, you can also use tomatoes and cashews and make a paste which gives you a similar consistency, but it is much more healthy for you. And make sure that you're also calculating your protein that you're adding to these curries. So for example, if you're making butter chicken, make sure you're adding at least 50 to 60 grams of chicken to it and making sure you're eating that much chicken. Same goes with paneer, make sure you're adding 50 to 60 grams of paneer to it, so that your protein is also calculated, because most of the people end up eating curry or roti or curry or rice more and they just forget about protein. So always be mindful about your protein and eat your protein first, and then whatever appetite you have, you can have your carbs in it. Now before we talk about what are the best options for lunch, first let's talk about what is the right food combination for your lunch. So lunch is the best time to get your carbs in. Now carbs, I mean good carbs, good carbohydrates that are complex carbohydrates, which are your ragi, that is nachni, jowar, bajra. You can also have some rice for lunch, and if you can digest wheat, you can have whole wheat roti also made out of khapli gehu. These are your good carbs, but along with this you need good protein for lunch, which will make sure you're not drowsy for the rest of your day. So you need good carbs, especially complex carbohydrate, you need protein, and you need good fiber from your sabzi, from your vegetables, and also from your salad. Along with this, I always say you need to have a good probiotic with lunch, so you can add dahi or buttermilk along with this, and this together makes a good healthy lunch. Now let's explore what are your lunch options with these food combinations. My first and the most favorite option for lunch is idlis and dosas. When you consume idlis and dosas with good sambar and chutney on the side, this whole combination together gives you like the best and the most ideal lunch combination, because idlis are rich in protein and in good carbohydrates because it's made out of urad dal and rice. Sambar, especially when you make it at home, you can make it extremely rich in lots of vegetable, and you can use all seasonal vegetables in your sambar. At the same time, it has good lentils and dals in it, so that again makes it protein rich. And the chutney on the side that you're having, most commonly it is coconut chutney, that also gives you gut benefit. It is good for your gut, it's a good prebiotic, and I always like to have either sol curry or buttermilk along with this. So this together, it's a wonderful combination. There are days when I just like to replace the idli with dosas or uttappams, but along with this I love to have my sambar and coconut chutney because it just makes it a complete meal. Along with this, my other favorite lunch option is these appams. So you have to basically soak dal one night before, and so these appams, when you have it sambar and coconut chutney, it is even more protein rich than the idlis and keeps you fuller for a longer period of time. So all these South Indian foods, I know they are everybody's favorite breakfast options, but try it to have it for lunch because you'll get even more benefits out of it. It will keep you energetic for the rest of the day, and it will give you the exact nutrient levels that you need for lunch. My next favorite option for lunch is rasam rice or dal chawal. It's easily available anywhere. It doesn't take long time to cook, and you can just pack it and carry it to work also. So rasam rice, dal chawal with little bit of salad or pickle on the side is an excellent yet filling lunch option. Now since we've discussed that dal is a very incomplete source of protein, at the same time it does not have enough protein, especially when we cook it and we actually have one bowl of dal. So for that reason you can always have a sabzi along with dal chawal which is high in protein. So you can make mushroom sabzi, you can make paneer sabzi, you can also make matki usar, or you can make moong dal usar. So you can combine and mix and match your lentils also, but just keep watching for your protein in all your meals. For people who like to have roti sabzi for lunch, the best option for them is to make millet roti. Like we discussed, the best millets are jowar, bajra and ragi, and you can make roti from this. If you can digest wheat well, you can have khapli gehu roti and add any high protein sabzi like we discussed. So you can add mushroom, paneer, lentil sabzi, and this together with some dahi is an excellent option for lunch. You can always start with basic Indian salad, that is carrots, cucumber, radish. All these things are very good to be consumed raw, and it will not give you any bloating. And it's always best to start any lunch with this basic Indian salad and then proceed for your lunch, so it makes your meal as a fuller combination, and this lunch will keep you fuller for a longer period of time, and yet it will also keep you fitter. Now the biggest problem is your blood sugar crash after having lunch, and most of the people feel extremely drowsy and extremely sleepy after lunch. How do you tackle that? I have a very simple trick. It is best to focus on the digestion after lunch. How are you going to do that? By consuming 1 cup of green tea or black tea, or I have specifically made the herbal detox tea by Nutrici Lifestyle. All these teas basically have a digestive benefit. You can also make a simple ginger water with little bit of pudina and black pepper, which also helps with you with the digestion of the food that you have eaten, and this will take care of your digestion, and the blood supply can go back to your brain as soon as possible. Because what happens after lunch is your entire body's blood supply is focused on your digestive system to get the food digested, and because there is less blood supply to the brain, you start feeling sleepy or drowsy. This is exactly what we have to control, and these teas and digestive teas will help you do that. At the same time, try walking for about 20 to 25 minutes, 10 minutes after you have had lunch, so that will also take care of the digestion, and your brain can feel alert sooner. Along with this, make sure you're not having tea or coffee immediately after having lunch, because this can interfere with the nutrient absorption that you have just had for lunch, because tea and coffee always slow down iron absorption and calcium absorption of the nutrients that you have eaten. So do not combine your food and tea and coffee together, especially for lunch and for dinner. These things will make sure that you're not drowsy, you're active, and it will also take care of your digestion. So these are the options that you should include and you should avoid for lunch. If you like this video, let me know what other meal options that you want me to cover. And like we always say, it's never just a diet, it's always a lifestyle. So stay healthy, stay fit, stay grateful, and stay blessed.